Welcome to this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Andy.
And I'm Felice, and we are back together here in Key West.
Yay! We took a little hiatus from recording at the end of our summer.
Yes.
And there's been a lot that's happened. I got a puppy.
She's so cute.
Luna. School started again, and we've been doing some big things with the podcast.
Yes, it's so exciting.
So exciting.
Keep listening to our podcast to find out what the excitement is all about. We promise that we'll share in a future episode, but it's big.
Or maybe you'll see something on social media.
Yeah, be checking our social media for sure.
So exciting. So, speaking of the future, today we were talking and you said something about Aquarius. I know you're an Aquarius, right?
Yes, I'm an Aquarius.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
It's the best sign. It's number one. So to be honest, I don't really know that much about horoscopes and zodiac and all of that kind of stuff, except I do know about my own sign.
Well, tell me about yourself.
So Aquariuses, Aquarii, I don't know the plural. We're creative, intellectual.
Oh.
We can be a little bit reserved, or also some people think we can be a little judgy, but I think it's more that we are observers. We are constantly looking and watching, and we know right away if we're going to connect with somebody.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
It's funny because my husband and I are both Aquarius and we are wildly different than each other.
That's really funny. I never thought about that.
Yeah, but we are also both Aquarius in our own way. We share our creativity in like totally different ways, but he's very outgoing. And I'm very like a little bit, I'm outgoing, but I like to be alone. I love my alone time. I prefer it.
My heart.
Yes. Well, with the exception. So like Aquarius find their people and stick. So like we find our ride or die people, and then those are our people. And we'll do anything for them. But also we're observing at all times.
Oh,
yeah. We're watching.
Always watching.
Yes. Yeah. That's me in a nutshell. Yeah.
Wow.
How about you? I already know what you were. But tell us.
I'm a Leo.
Oh yes.
So
tell us about Leo.
Leos are outgoing, loud, dramatic, center of attention.
No.
Wow.
Shocking.
Wow. My heart again.
In the best way, in the most fun way.
But Felice
so fun.
Informed me that we're like opposite signs, but also in the right balance, we're sister signs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening here.
Yes, absolutely.
But when we had this little conversation, then it inspired me. I decided to do a little research about what's happening in the stars.
Oh, okay.
And there's a few things that stood out that I want to read to you.
Okay.
So right now, the sun is in Leo from July 22nd to August 22nd. It's a time to shine, add a touch of color and drama to lives, and it's time to perform. This is general for the general public.
Okay.
This is just the effect of the sun in Leo. We're blossoming. It's a time when we want to enjoy ourselves and express ourselves. While the sun is in Leo, we take the high road, and we're very often motivated by the idea of gaining respect and affection.
Ooh, okay.
It said we also tend to take the lead or become the center of attention and activity. Interestingly, Mercury is also in Leo from June 26th to September 2nd. When Mercury is in Leo, our thinking is more confident and grand.
Wow.
Okay. The focus is on the goal. The grander the goal, the better. So I am hoping this directly translates to our podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Our goals.
That's our goal. Our goal is grand. Yes. Grandeur.
So grand. So, speaking of the podcast.
Yes, in case you're just joining us for the first time or you've forgotten, we are two friends with a love for the paranormal and spooky stories.
We have a deep respect for the unknown forces that work around us, but we also make sure to laugh along the way.
Absolutely.
Everything's better and slightly less spooky with laughter.
Yes, I had a Facebook message, or maybe we had posted something, and one of our friends posted, and she said, oh, I really want to listen to the podcast, but I'm really afraid of scary stuff. And I said, I mean, we talk about some scary stuff, but we are mostly having a great time.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a little spooky, but not too bad.
One of our friends just recently said to us, when you record, it must be like a play date for you. And we were like, it totally is.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. We have to record again.
Yeah, sorry.
Also, just a quick shout out to Ryan and Bill.
Yeah, they're being very understanding this past week.
Yeah. We have had to do a lot of podcast related things this week. And I'm like, sorry, can't do bedtime again for the kids.
Yeah, same. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, do bedtime.
Sorry, Bill. Can't tuck you in.
Sorry, buddy. Have to tuck yourself in.
But anyway, thanks for the support, guys.
Yeah. Yes, we love you. We appreciate you.
So on this podcast, we hope to bring you stories that make you wonder, give you a chill, and laugh right along with us. The stories are true.
We think they are.
Dive into the shadows with us as we bring you haunting tales in this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast. Shall we dive in? Today, we're diving into the story of one of the most infamous haunted sites in Pennsylvania, Eastern State Penitentiary.
Ooh, I think this is going to be a good one. I've been hearing a lot about this.
I think
this place.
I think because we're on the precipice of spooky season, and so people are starting to get more into the spooky feel of things. And this is just one of those places that is iconic.
Yeah.
So it is located in Philadelphia. It was once the most advanced prison in the world, and now one of the most haunted.
Ooh.
Long before it became a destination for tourists and ghost hunters, Eastern State Penitentiary was an ambitious social experiment and an architectural feat. Opened in 1829, it was designed not just to punish inmates, but to reform. The prison was designed by architect John Haviland. When viewed from above, the prison has a wheel-like appearance, kind of like a wagon wheel.
Okay.
7 cell blocks extend out from a central surveillance area. Within the cell blocks were private cells for each inmate with an attached outdoor exercise yard. So the yards were really small, and each person just had their own tiny yard.
It wasn't like gates between them. It was walls between them.
It was walls.
Okay.
Yeah. No communal yard here. Prisoners' cells were equipped with central heat, running water, flushing toilets, and skylights. So it doesn't sound that bad. But it is. This is notable because at that time, most homes didn't have these features. Fun fact, not Civil War related.
Okay.
Eastern State Penitentiary had flushing toilets before the White House had flushing toilets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they were really going for it.
When you say reform, were they trying to actually help people re-enter the world, or was it more?
I think it was more like the old school reform, like reform with the rod. Not really the rod. Let me tell you more.
Okay.
The prisoners at Eastern State were completely isolated from one another in individual cells. There was no talking and no contact with other inmates. The inmates spent 23 hours a day in their solitary cells. Even when prisoners were required to move between cells, they were forced to wear hoods to keep their identities a secret and prevent eye contact with other inmates.
Oh my gosh.
This is already bothering me a lot.
Yeah. I mean, humans are made for connection.
Right.
And so, like, if you take away literally every single piece of connection, I can only imagine what that does to the psyche.
Absolutely. So the idea was that solitary confinement would be the means to rehabilitation. It said that through isolation, prisoners would, quote, repent, reflect, and reform, end quote. The skylights that I mentioned earlier, the single glass skylight allowed only a beam of light into the cells. These skylights were nicknamed the Eye of God and were meant to represent and remind prisoners of God's constant watch and judgment.
Oh, wow. And also probably their literal only source of entertainment too. You know, like a cloud goes over,
Oh my gosh,
a
I never
bird
thought
goes
about that.
over, the moon, the moon happens to go past your, like be over your skylights. You have
Right.
nothing else to see or look at.
Wow. Yeah. I didn't think about that. Ugh. So this method was called the Pennsylvania system, and it was both praised and condemned. Many originally considered it better than the corporal punishments that were common during that time, but others argued that it was worse, which I can understand.
Because it was mental.
Right. Yeah, they were breaking them. Charles Dickens himself visited the prison in 1842. He called it, quote, cruel and wrong, end quote, writing that the mental toll of isolation was worse than any physical punishment. He even wrote about it. He wrote, quote, I believe that very few men are capable of estimating the immense amount of torture and agony which this dreadful punishment, prolonged for years, inflicts upon the sufferers. So he saw this. And I think it really had an impact on him.
Yeah.
The psychological toll that this form of isolation took on prisoners was extreme. But when prisoners talked to themselves or attempted to talk to guards or any other purported offenses, the punishments were severe.
Oh my gosh.
There was the water bath, in which inmates were dunked, then hung out on a wall in winter until ice formed on the skin.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, Pennsylvania winters are no joke.
Yeah.
Can't even. Inmates would also be strapped into straitjackets until they lost circulation in their bodies. And then there was the iron gag, which was responsible for at least one inmate death. With the iron gag, an inmate's hands were tied behind the back and strapped to a 5-inch piece of metal that fit over his tongue so that any movement forced the gag deeper and caused the tongue to tear and bleed profusely.
Oh my gosh. That's horrifying.
There's one recorded death from it, but I'm guessing there were others.
Yeah.
The inmate that died from the iron gag, his charge was attempting to talk to another inmate. How heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Through the 19th century, mental illness and overcrowding led Eastern State Penitentiary to abandon the idea of solitary confinement and the Pennsylvania system. By the 20th century, it became like many other prisons of the time. It had all the good prison stuff. Violence, riots, escape attempts.
Nice.
So around this time is when they began using the hole as punishment for prisoners who violated the rules. The hole was a pitch black, cold cell in the basement where inmates could be held for up to 2 weeks with no light, no toilet, no human interaction, little air, and minimal food.
Oh my gosh. Still to this day in prisons, when they are sent to solitary confinement for whatever punishment, they call that the hole. Hopefully it's not
a
like
little
that.
more humane than
Hopefully
this.
they have a toilet at the very least.
Right.
But wow.
I mean, I think before the entire prison kind of felt like the hole, right?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Except that they had the plumbing.
That's some modern things for the time.
Right.
Yeah.
In 1929, the most famous prison inmate arrived, Al Capone.
Ooh.
The legendary gangster spent 8 months in Eastern State for possession of a concealed weapon.
Okay.
But Capone's cell was different from the dark cement blocks of the other inmates.
Oh, I'm imagining Pablo Escobar, like when he was in prison, his cell or his prison cell was glamorous, and his friends were there playing pool and stuff. Whatever.
I mean, Well,
Yeah.
Capone's cell it was luxurious. It had rugs, it had artwork, a desk, a lamp, even a radio.
Wow. Friends in high places.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you get the good stuff for doing bad things.
I guess so. It's all about who you know.
That's true. That is very true. So it's said, despite the comfort of his special cell, Capone couldn't escape ghosts of his own.
Ooh.
It's said that he was tormented by the ghost of James Clark, one of the victims of the St. Valentine's Day massacre. Inmates reported hearing Capone crying out and screaming at night, pleading with Jimmy to leave him alone.
Ooh, Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy
Oh my
was
gosh.
getting it back. Faced with deteriorating conditions and rising costs, Eastern State Penitentiary closed in 1971.
Man, it was around for a really long time.
Yeah, it's like 150 years
Yeah,
almost.
wow.
It is now certified as a U.S. historic landmark. By the time it closed, Eastern State had housed over 75,000 inmates.
Ooh, wow.
And it's thought that some of them never really left.
Okay, let's hear it.
So let's talk about some of the things people have encountered. In cell block 6, people have reported seeing shadowy figures that dart along the walls or slide quickly across them.
I don't like that.
I know, it's unnerving.
I do not like that.
Similar shadowy figures have been reported all across the penitentiary. Visitors to cell block 4 have claimed to see chilling visions of ghostly faces that appear to be in pain or tormented.
Oh my gosh. I just wonder if, I mean, it kind of makes you think like we don't really know what any of this activity is all about. And so it makes me wonder if some things are, I don't know, just like an impression of all the darkness and rage and sorrow and all the horrific things that happened there.
Absolutely.
You know, it's
like the energy has made like an imprint.
Exactly.
I mean, I think, you know how when you enter a room where people have been fighting and you don't have to know that it just happened, you feel it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's that charged feeling in the air. I feel like take that and multiply it by 1,000,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
at least 75,000.
right.
Right.
And, you know, that's what's going on here. But the atrocities that happened here and, you know, the mental breaks that happened, I think really would have left some dark energy behind. Yeah. So people see those ghostly faces. People also report hearing strange noises while in the cell block and feeling an overwhelming sense of unease and being unwelcome there. One of the scariest ghost stories comes from prison locksmith Gary Johnson. Gary was working on an old lock in cell block 4 during the restoration process in 1990.
Okay.
While working, he claimed he could feel someone intensely watching him, but looking around the cell block, he realized no one was there. He got an overwhelming feeling of dread and said he could feel the negative energy all around him. It said he could see distorted, tortured faces on the cell walls and then saw a shadowy figure move across and out the cell.
Oh my gosh.
Some of the reports about him even claim that he was grabbed and held like he was stuck and unable to move during this time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So whatever it was something scary for him.
Yeah. And we've talked about before, if something has the energy to touch you or physically move something, that's, I don't know.
Right.
Heavy.
Also, I feel like he could have been paralyzed in fear, right? I mean, if you're seeing these terrible faces and this shadow figure, like I feel like I would probably fall down and cry.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did someone just tell us a story? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay.
So recently we just heard a firsthand account that was strikingly similar to this. The person told us that they were at Eastern State and they saw a shadow figure pacing in a cell that then rushed towards them. Yeah. So I'm not sure if this is the same entity, but it's a very similar kind of experience. Yeah. So I think that's worth noting.
Yeah. Absolutely. So spooky. Oh my gosh.
So spooky. Yeah. And the person who told us that account has experienced a lot of things and is not someone who would spook easily, I think.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I don't think so. Yeah.
But the spookiness at Eastern State continues in cell block 12. In this cell block, there are multiple reports of people hearing disembodied voices, hearing strange cackling in the darkness.
Ooh. Oh gosh.
Creepy whispers. And seeing shadow figures. People also report an overwhelming feeling of dread there. The show Ghost Hunters even captured a video of a shadow figure that moves through cell block 12.
Oh.
Yeah, you can watch that clip.
Okay, I'll do my homework.
Do it. Paranormal investigators from Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and countless other teams have recorded EVPs, electronic voice phenomena.
Thank you. Thank you for telling us that.
Just in case there's some unfamiliar people.
That's true. We have lay people in this
Yeah.
listening to our show who don't know much about ghosty stuff, like me. So it's good. We need to know all the acronyms.
You're growing
a little bit. I'm dipping my toe, but I'm still extremely careful.
That's okay.
Cautious.
Caution is good.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So these people with their EVPs, a lot of these EVPs are clear and spooky, in my opinion. One investigator described hearing a voice say, "I'm still here."
Mm.
Other EVPs captured, and I listened to some of these, include a man singing, another saying, "Leave us." A voice on one of them says, "I'm sick, girl. Please help me."
Oh my gosh.
I know that one makes me feel sad. During an investigation, someone asked the infamous line, "Is anybody there?" And someone responds, "Anybody?"
Ooh, that's cryptic.
Right?
Not cryptid. That's different.
That is different.
We're learning that too. A lot of people are learning that word with us.
But it reminded me of when we were on our firehouse investigation and we said, "Are you here? Or is anybody?" And they said, "In a way."
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it kind of triggered that in my brain. Others claim to have been scratched or shoved by unseen hands.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know. I don't like the touching. I think I can deal with the hearing things, possibly seeing things, but the touching, we have to draw a line. Let's have some boundaries.
We need boundaries.
Personal space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
For decades, visitors to Eastern State Penitentiary have reported having an overwhelming feeling of darkness and despair and the sense of being watched. All over the penitentiary, people feel cold spots, hear whispers, and disembodied voices, and some even report hearing a banjo playing.
Alrighty.
I don't know where the banjo came from.
Did they have that? Did they have access to a banjo?
Maybe it was Al Capone with his special room and his musical instruments.
Who knew? I never thought of Al Capone as a banjo guy.
Man of many talents.
Real Renaissance man.
Indeed. Other people report having a shortness of breath and feeling pressure on their chests.
Ooh.
Some reports even include people feeling frozen, unable to move due to some sort of force.
Whoa.
So that kind of goes back to what Gary the Locksmith experienced in Cell Block 4. Still, others report seeing shadow figures in the abandoned guard towers. The apparition of a mysterious woman is spotted so often that she's gotten the nickname the Soap Lady. I don't know why.
Know why?
No. I don't know why. Maybe she feels, or maybe she smells really fresh and clean.
Oh, maybe. Maybe she was like in charge of the commissary.
Maybe.
You know, she was handing out soap.
Maybe. So the Soap Lady, she sits in the last cell on the second floor wearing white. The second floor held the women's cell block when the prison was operational.
Okay, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
If there were women in the prison.
So that's pretty interesting. Eastern State Penitentiary is now a museum and historic site. You can walk the very halls where prisoners lived and died. They offer daytime tours, educational exhibits, and every year from September to November, you can go to Halloween Nights, a haunted house experience inside the real prison.
Okay, so are we talking about scary clowns jumping out at you, that kind of stuff?
That's part of it.
Oh, okay.
So part of Halloween Night, it's one of the top ranked Halloween attractions in the country. And they have haunted houses, you know, like the typical kind of thing.
Okay.
Well, sort of typical. Plus, I'll tell you more in a moment.
Okay.
They and then it also includes bars, lounges, tours, and a lot of experiences. So they have over 200 performers who really commit to this whole
Halloween to the
night.
bit.
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So if you do go, you can sign up to wear a special necklace that lets performers know that you can be grabbed, held, or taken to secret passageways.
Oh my God. Who does that? What kind of monster signs up for that? That's so scary.
I already signed you up.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding.
Awesome. think I'm busy that weekend.
It's okay. It goes till November. We'll find one.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just kidding. I don't think I could use. I don't really like that kind of thing.
Mm-mm. I mean, like, I like a little jump scare, but I would not be okay with people touching me and dragging me to a secret passageway or something. That's really scary.
When I lived in New York, I went through a haunted house. It was supposed to be a pretty scary one.
Yeah.
And it was scary.
Yeah.
And then I fell on the floor and I rolled around so nobody would grab me.
Like, just somersault through the whole thing.
Just like stop, drop, and roll kind of action.
You can't catch me.
It was because they did like touch you and stuff.
Ooh.
They didn't drag you away, but they would, like, you know. Anyway,
one time I went to one in Orlando, and it was also really scary. The group in front of us was like all these big football player looking kind of guys, and they were crying. It took a little bit of the scare away from it because I was close enough to like see it, and it was so funny because they were screeching and screaming and crying, and it was hilarious. It was the best.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
You were like, come here, babe. I got you.
Like, it's okay, guys.
So the thing is with all these performers, some of them have reported seeing apparitions that aren't part of the act.
Ooh.
Even though they're there to scare, they feel a sense of being watched.
Mm-hmm.
There's also claims of objects moving around on their own, particularly in the part of the attraction known as the machine shop. So, whether Eastern State is a monument to justice, cruelty, or something darker, one thing's certain: it still breathes with memory. From the minds broken by isolation to the shadow figures and voices still echoing behind the walls, Eastern State reminds us some punishments don't end at death.
Ooh. Oh my gosh.
So do you want to go?
I don't think so.
Okay, we don't have to go to Halloween nights, but like, do you want to just go and visit?
Yeah, we'd go visit.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
Field trip.
Yeah, field trip.
Okay.
Big one. Road trip.
Whoa.
Yeah, I would do it. I don't think I would go to the haunted house.
No, I don't think I want to do that because it feels a little to me like poking fun at many people's pain and torture a little bit. And everybody's got to make their money.
Yeah.
And
but I think both of us feel really committed to being respectful of all of the history of a place. I'm not saying that they were the best people that were in there, that, you know, they're probably in there for a reason, but nobody deserves to be tortured, you know,
absolutely,
and have their mind broken.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, I would like to go. I love the history piece of that. And I think that's so interesting. And I would definitely go see that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. We'll put that on our list.
Okay.
Excellent.
Well, it is time for Somebody Told Me. This is a segment of our podcast where we share stories from our listeners. We want to hear from you. You can email us or go to our website or go to our social media, send us a DM, share your stories with us. We've been getting a lot of responses in a bunch of different ways. So it's so exciting when something comes to our email account or we get something on, you know, like Instagram or TikTok or something like that.
It is so exciting. And we love reading them. Mm-hmm. And I think too, even if you have something that is short or you're like, I'm not sure, or does this apply? This is just kind of weird. It doesn't matter if it was a weird figure you saw in the woods or something you saw out of the corner of your eye or some mysterious lights or near-death experience, or even maybe like a creepy dream you had that came true or something like that. Anything. Yeah. We love to read the stories. And if they're short, we'll just put a bunch together.
Yeah, we'll put a few together. And also don't feel like, you know, like you don't need to be Walt Whitman and, you know, like write a poem about it. It's okay. We can reword it if we need to, you know. So, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
So a few weeks ago, we did an episode about La Llorona. And if we don't have time to tell you all about La Llorona, but you're going to
go back and listen.
You should go back and listen to it. But I got a bunch of responses about La Llorona on a recent TikTok video that we put out. And so I wanted to share one of them with you, and get ready. It is crazy.
I'm scared already.
Yes. So This account is from a doctor in Oaxaca, Mexico. He emailed us and asked us to keep him anonymous for professional reasons. Also, he messaged me on TikTok a couple of times. He messaged me back on TikTok, like, did you get it? Did it come through? Did it come through? Like, he really felt strongly about sharing this story.
I love that. I love, well, one, that we have a doctor who listens in Mexico.
Yes. Hola.
¿Cómo está? But two, like the follow through. And I think this kind of harkens back to a conversation we were having recently about when people have an experience that they can't explain, they need some validation, right?
Yeah.
You know, somebody to believe them, see if somebody else has experienced something like this. So I can't wait.
Yeah. And also, I feel like when you have people that are very science-based, you know, very intelligent, very much a straight shooter, and then they have these experiences, I don't know, I think it gives some weight to that, you know.
Absolutely. And it probably adds to that need to validate in some sort of way, right? You're looking for proof as a scientist.
Yeah.
Right?
So, all right, here we go. This story I'm about to tell you happened to me more than 7 years ago. Here in Mexico, medical school is 5 years long. 1 year of medical internship, where we spend a full year in a hospital doing practice, is followed by a year of community service.
Oh.
Yeah, where we are basically sent to a very remote region to work as a doctor in a village health center.
I think that's great.
I do too. I bet you get to see all kinds of different things medically that you wouldn't see just in the city hospital.
And I can imagine that it helps you build your appreciation for the resources you have when you're in an urban area.
Absolutely. Right? When you can just reach into a drawer and grab whatever tool you need. And I'm sure it's very different in a village health center.
Right.
So we spend an entire year there attending to emergencies 24 hours a day with 1 day off per week. So
that's a lot of work.
That's a hustle. Yeah. These communities are very remote. For example, the town I lived in was more than 10 hours away from the capital of Oaxaca.
Wow.
I even have some videos of the town on my TikTok.
Oh, I'll check them out.
Yeah. This event occurred in 2018 between the night of September 21st and the early morning of the 22nd.
Very specific.
Extremely, yes. I was doing community service there. I won't reveal the name of the community so as not to upset them because I have very fond memories there.
Oh.
I was outside the house I was given to live, so they got room and board, obviously. It was next to the town's health center or clinic where I gave consultations every day. I was the doctor in charge of that place. Next to me was a nursing intern who was also doing community service. It was late, but the two of us were chatting. I remember that the afternoon of that day, the sky was cloudy, as if warning of rain that night, something very common in that region. I remember that at 10 p.m., a very strong storm began with very heavy rain and lightning. As usual, the electricity went out. That happened every time it rained.
Oh,
we know.
We feel that pain.
We know what that's like. I feel like electricity doesn't go out every time it rains in Key West, but it goes out all the time.
It goes out a lot more often than people in the mainland experience. Yeah. And actually, my lights went off for a second today.
Did they? Yeah. Also, if it's not the electricity, it's the internet, and sometimes it's the water. So we just roll with it down here.
Yeah.
I remember that the nurse and I closed the clinic and went home to rest, but we couldn't sleep because of the storm. So we sat outside the house on the patio overlooking the town and watched the rain. That sounds nice.
I do like that.
Mm-hmm. When it was 11:30, everything became strange. It was as if the whole town fell silent. We could see the storm continuing and continuing to rain, but everything stopped. We couldn't hear anything, not even crickets or animals.
I have chills.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Suddenly, we began to hear a noise in the distance coming from the dam. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of location here, just so you can kind of orient yourself with what this place is like. Okay, that'll
help me get rid of the chills for a moment. Okay.
To give you an idea, this town is on the banks of a dam on the slopes of a mountain. There's only one road that enters the town and zigzags down to reach the village on the banks of the dam. The health center is just above the village before the entrance. Let's say you first pass the main road and the health center's on one side of the road. Then 20 meters further on, you'll find the village entrance and the road. The main road also continues past the entrance and continues to the next village.
Okay. So it's just a tiny road that passes past the health center, through the village to the next village.
Yeah.
Got it.
And it's by a dam.
Okay.
Okay. We were watching the storm when we heard a noise coming from the back of town. I'd practically say it was coming from the dam. The dog started howling, but it wasn't a normal bark. It was a bark of fear.
Oh, no.
We didn't understand what was happening until halfway down the main road, we heard it. A wail so heartbreaking, it felt like it chilled our bones. So they both heard it. It wasn't the howl of an animal. It was the wail of a woman, a wail from beyond the grave. Just remembering it makes my blood run cold. We could hear it clearly. It was as if that entity was coming up the main road until it reached the entrance. At that moment, we didn't know what to do. All I could think of was to send a message to one of the doctors I knew.
What?
I even recorded an audio and sent it to him via WhatsApp.
Stop it. First, can we just pause for a second?
Yeah.
Because I have full body chills and I'm really scared.
Yeah.
But also to have the wherewithal to be like, I need to capture this.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Good
Yeah.
for you, doctor.
Yeah, way to go, doctor. I remember the more I listened to that wail, the more my head felt like it was going blank. Without realizing it, I started walking toward the entrance.
Oh, no.
And I would have reached it if it weren't for the nurse who stopped me. I don't know if I would have walked any further. I don't remember starting to walk.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that crazy?
Goosebumps.
The nurse said I was hypnotized. I only remember that we entered the house and the nurse placed a Virgin of Guadalupe statue at the entrance and we began to pray.
Oh my gosh.
I could hear the wailing reaching the entrance to the town and continuing along the main road. Suddenly, everything returned to normal. The rain, the sounds of animals, crickets, frogs, dogs, people. It was as if we had stepped out of that bubble. Many will say it was a hallucination, but the nurse and I know what we heard. This reminds me so much of Banshee.
Oh my gosh. This is so scary.
I know.
But, okay, remind me, for La Llorona, are people going into trances? Is that something that happens?
I don't remember. I don't remember hearing that.
Okay.
But as an additional note, the next morning, some people from the next town came to me to fill out a death certificate for a person who had died that night after falling off a cliff.
Oh my gosh.
In Mexico, it's known that the weeping woman tricks and lures people into a frenzy, sometimes leading them to a cliff where they fall to their deaths. So I hadn't heard this before, but according to him, that would be the local legend.
Oh my gosh.
It reminds me of the stories of sirens. You know,
Right.
They're singing would lure seafaring men to their death on the cliffs or whatever. You know, they would crash the boat into the cliffs.
You know, and we have talked before about how that story, like the sort of siren stories, are similar to this story of the weeping woman, I think is how he they refers to this entity.
Yeah.
But what if, and we've said this, these experiences that people have all over the world with similar stories and encounters and things like that, they may have different terms for them, but they could be the same type of entity.
Yeah.
Right? It's just in this culture it's called this, and this culture it's called that. Wow. It's
crazy.
Scary.
Okay, this is how he ended his email. Well, that was my story with La Llorona. I hope you like it. Best regards. Well, we did like it.
Yes. Liked it. Very spooked by it.
Yes. Okay, but I have a surprise for you.
Oh no.
So, he sent me the audio recording that he sent to his friend.
No. Oh no.
Yes.
I don't know if I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I'm
Okay,
scared.
we're going to hear it. I am going to turn my microphone around. Hopefully you can hear it. Here we go.
Oye, escucha esto. Escucha. Oiga, Doc, creo que eso se escucha ahí por donde está el río.
What just happened? I can't. I'm covered in goosebumps.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to cry.
It's really, really scary.
It's super freaking scary.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
And I also, to be really honest, I don't know if it's like a good idea to share that around. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
gosh.
I was a little conflicted about actually playing that.
Wow. We're rocked over here right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. So there you go.
well, there you go.
Hope you
like
enjoyed it.
Wow.
I think we need a Virgin of Guadalupe statue over here.
That
Do you
works.
have one?
Apparently, I will go look around for
Yeah.
one.
Well, we have Evil Eye at least.
At least we've got that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Well, after that terrifying encounter, I think it's time for me to
Wrap it up.
wrap myself
Wrap it
in a cloak of light and love.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much for listening to and downloading this episode of the You Two Scare Me podcast.
Listeners, you can help support us by telling your friends and family about our spooky, spooky podcast. If everyone tells a few friends and they tell a few friends, then our plan for podcast domination will be complete.
You can also help us by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to download those episodes.
Yeah, you can just hit follow. And then every
Yeah.
time you open the app, it will just automatically download.
Yeah,
Too
and
easy.
you can do that on like your friends' phones too.
Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. Also, check out our social media. Find us on Instagram at you2scareme_podcast or on our Facebook page, You Two Scare Me. You can follow us on our TikTok account. Just search You Two Scare Me Podcast. No spaces.
TikTok's been blowing up.
Yes, it has.
Remember to send us your own spooky, strange, or unusual stories for our Somebody Told Me segment at you2scaremepodcast@gmail.com. That's YOUTWO scare me podcast@gmail.com.
Thanks for wandering through the shadows with us.
Until next time, stay curious and beware what lurks beyond the light.